Okay, now we can start, guys.
Okay, we don't want to see that shine.
Can I keep my hat on for these interviews, or is it a light covering my face? We're good? Okay, good. I like this hat. I got it the other day.
Welcome to Dallas.
Thanks.
Have you been here before?
I haven't, no. I've been here today. That's about it.
It's a long day. Yeah. You were on TV early this morning. So
Oh, did you see that?
Yes, I saw it.
Oh,
That's
cool.
how I found out you were Australian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you had me so convinced in the movie. I thought, oh, he's an American. You did a great job.
Oh, cool. Thanks. I think there's like a couple of things you say that just give it away. And so I really had to work on like my A's. Maple, April, your A's are really hard to say. And your double R's like horror and mirror. I don't know how to say mirror yet. How do you say it?
Mirror. We have two syllables.
Mirror.
We say two.
It sounds like M-I-R, mirror, like a cat. Mirror.
And around here for Southern, it's real mirror.
I have to say it a lot on Oculus because it's about the mirror. And so I have to try and...
You say one word.
Yeah, okay, mirror.
One syllable.
Mirror.
So had you read the book before you took the part?
I did, yeah. I read it after I read the screenplay and before my first audition.
It was kind of Jeff Bridges' project that he'd been sitting on for 20 years. Is that why it just took so long because he wanted to perfect it? Was the technology not where he wanted before he made the film? Do you know?
I do. It wasn't the technology. It was the fact that there was a lot of controversy behind this film, as you may know. And there's some scenes and some ideas in the film which just wasn't supported by the studios. And I guess it wasn't thought of as something that would sell and be kind of pushed. And so when Harvey Weinstein and the Weinsteins and Walden Media got on board, they really pushed this idea, pushed this concept, and I think it's paid off, yeah. But for 20 years, he was trying to get this thing off the ground. And it's crazy to think that I was 4 years old. Everything happens for a time. It's just, you think about it, it's like everything happens for a reason, you know.
He wanted his father, Lloyd Bridges, is that what he had it in mind to do he would be...
I think he had his father in mind to do the film.
Yeah.
And now,
And he's the...
Yeah, he's actually not that old, you know. He's not as old as you'd imagine the giver to be.
Do they give the giver an exact age, or do they don't?
No, they don't. They don't. Not that I know of. I mean, they may have. Not that I know. No, not that I can remember, but my memories.
Well, all the elders did appear to be quite elder, but...
I think elderly. I mean, I don't know if it's... elders. I don't know if it's 55 to 60, whether you can apply for a pension, whether it's... you have to go for eye tests when you get your driver's license or something. I don't know.
The character in the book is supposed to be 12 years old. Was there a problem after you took the role that maybe some of the fans would have a problem with that?
Yeah, I think a lot of the fans will have a problem with that. But it wasn't really my decision. If it was my decision, I would just go, guys, the character's my age exactly.
Well, I didn't read the book, and I thought it worked fine.
Yeah, I think it works because, obviously there was many reasons for it, for aging up the characters. My reasoning and the fact that I liked it was because, because originally I was very hesitant to take the role because the original character was 12 and had really experienced nothing in terms of, the raw human emotions that we all go through. But I like the fact that he's a little older. It makes it a little more suspicious that, he hasn't done these things and he's asking questions at, an older age. Because at 12 years of age, you kind of ask yourself these questions anyway in life. And it's the age where we all start experiencing things normally, And I feel like if he's a little bit older, it's a little more strange, and it gives a little darker feel to this community that he's in.
And also the love story part would have been less. Lois Lowry probably didn't have it as he and Odelia Rush's character maybe weren't so involved in the book. I don't know.
They are. It is a love story in the book, but it's less of I guess it is a form of love. I wasn't really in love when I was that young. I don't remember being in love, but it's more of a crush feeling in the book, like a sweet young
But, well, I think it gave the film a little more intensity because all the tying in with that and Gabriel and her
Yeah, I
dog
think so.
and
I
all
think-
that and
right,
his feelings for
I mean, once he discovers love and discovers pain and war, and decides to act upon it, I feel like you believe him more that he would go through what he's going through to fight for love, as opposed to a little crush that he has on a girl. So that kind of works to that advantage as well.
Speaking of Jeff Bridges,
Yeah.
I like asking this of anybody who's worked with big name actors. Are you the guy who was more intimidated by Jeff Bridges, or did he like really inspire you to step it up? Because I've got two different answers to questions like that.
Yeah. Both. I mean, if there's a different word for intimidation to me kind of represents something almost negative, you know? But it wasn't like that. It was a positive intimidation, you know? It was an excitement and, in awe of, if anything. My vocabulary is not doing very well today. In fact, it's never doing very well. But I guess it was just an excitement, and I guess it was
Well, because he always
curiosity. That, how does he work? And
he always plays his characters very well, and all the previews and everything that I had seen, you believe he is that character. Is he that way when he's filming as well? I mean, you're like standing in front of him, like really believing he's the giver. I've heard he's like. I'm not sure how to phrase that question.
No. I mean, basically what you're saying is he's a method actor in the sense that he gets embodied in the character.
Yeah.
And I guess the answer is yes. Yeah, you do totally believe that he's the giver. And in a way, I was the younger actor coming to set with a very experienced actor, and I was the younger community member who's going to the giver's quarters to learn lots of memories. So there's a lot of parallels in both of our real lives occurring on set every day, and so it was a great thing to do because it was so relevant to us.
Your character in The Giver, he's not supposed to have any emotions until he starts getting the memories. What was it like having to act with pretty much no emotion and then suddenly feeling all of these things that you as a person always feel?
Well, I guess I don't always feel these things. I guess it's some like little pieces of life that I've felt, in my 24 years of living. Luckily I haven't been to war, and I feel like, there's so many movies and so much information and material that you can read up on and study, but nothing's really like just being thrown into it. We did those war scenes, and they were very much like, I don't know what war's like. You fear for your life constantly, I'm sure. But it was, Phil created a very real environment in a lot of those memories. And going into them and coming out of them were shot at the same time. And so it was more, from a continuity point of view, working with what thoughts and what is the memory, what are we going to shoot later on down the line. Because we shot a lot of the giving of the memory in the giver's quarters first, and then we would shoot later the actual memories, the sled, and the war, and the elephants. And so I was just working with Philip to try and really lodge in how he's going to shoot it, how specific, how big he wants me to go. What would it be like to find color is my first memory for the first time. Anyway, it was a cool experience.
If you could pass one memory on to future generations, which is kind of the premise of this, what would it be?
I would pass the memory of family. If they haven't got one, of course. Right. I don't know. I've been saying that a lot lately because I've been away from home for a while. It's like a ridiculous thing, but I just miss my family. I think it's like the most important thing that we all have is if we're lucky enough to some people obviously don't have family and have close friends or a close community, but I think that the happiest people are those who have a supportive family behind them.
So these the color parties, have you done any of them in any other cities yet?
I mean, I've done a color run before.
No, like
but
that's
that
what
was
they're
before we
calling
even made the film.
fan event tonight. They're
Yeah, no,
calling
I've
it
done.
You haven't done any of the fan events yet?
No.
No, so this is your first. So you don't have any interesting fan stories or anything like that?
I mean, I don't have. I mean, I have a. I mean, no, not really. Not really. I mean, the fan thing hasn't. I mean, there's a few fans here and there that are very sweet and ask for my autograph and photo, but the crazy fan story haven't happened to me yet.
May they never happen.
May they never happen. May I embrace them.
On the thing of the release in the movie of the, as I said, Gabriel, I didn't quite understand. They weigh the babies all the time. Is it the larger weighted child that isn't wanted, or the smaller, or how's that decision? They decide that child's not going to make it into this.
So if the babies, I see what you're saying. When they decide to release one.
And it's important what they weigh. And
It's important what they weigh. So basically, if they're not pulling their weight, pun intended, they could get released. And so Gabriel is a little under kilos or pounds. The American adjustment there, thank you. And he is not learning as quickly as your standard baby in the community. And so he is up for release until Father, who is called Father.
Incoming message from Teletrap 1.
that's Father.
That's Father, yeah.
That's Father. He has a message for you.
Father decides to bring it home, which is against the rules. And so
Yes, so he had.
yeah, so it's different weights. I mean, if they're too heavy, I think that's not a lie. Actually, I don't know. You'll have to ask Lois. But in our film, it was the heavier one. There was a lighter. The lighter ones get put aside.
Right.
I think if they're not.
So they're acting like as
if they're not
all
growing.
development is standard and all children develop in the same
Right,
way.
right.
And of course, there's the other end of that. The elders the old people, not the elders, but the old people are also disappeared or whatever happens to them. So they can have this controlled society. Nobody
Right.
just keep the numbers.
Right. Yeah.
And even though Father knows he's doing this, he doesn't, since he has no feelings, there's no
knowledge. He doesn't know he's doing the wrong thing. And Jonas realizes that, it's murder, but they just call it a different name. And I guess that's where all the controversy comes from with this book.
How was it running around with the little baby all the time, all those scenes?
I mean, I have to say, it was so much fun. There was very unfun times with the baby, I have to say. And it would cry a lot, and they'd kind of just say, just keep it and rock it, or do something, or sing to it. I'd be like, oh man, singing AC/DC to this baby. Make him black. No, you do. You learn little tricks. I don't know, if you're a mother or you have kids or something. But I learned that's what you do. You learn what's funny, and that runs out after about a week. So you got to learn something else, a new sound or something.
What was the most challenging scene to get accurate when compared to the book? To get it right that y'all really focused on.
I guess it was the scene. I guess it was a lot of the stuff with the baby. We're talking about the baby now. It was a lot of the stuff with Gabriel because, obviously a baby can't, cry when you tell it to, and do this and so we really had to, work with. When I see his mark on my arm, which it's now a mark. It's because we didn't really want to delve into the world of everyone's eye color being the same, and there's like hundreds of people in this community. We would have to change all their eye colors, and I don't know, they just decided to make it something else, this connection. And so it was difficult to get the right responses from the baby in order to tell the story. We need to have a connection, so I'm acting. I have the connection. The baby was great. Honestly, I feel like it kind of knew somehow what we were wanting to do, because we got it quite quickly. It was pretty good, but sometimes it was a little difficult to get it to cry at certain moments and whatever.
How do you get it to cry?
I don't touch it. I mean, I mean, usually they get it to cry by putting it in my arms, but I didn't get it to cry at all. I didn't want it to cry. It would be crying for a couple of takes, and Philip would say, "Okay, one more," and we're all kind of going, "This baby's crying and needs something, and it's not me, obviously," and so we'd kind of do one more and have to swap babies, and then the other one would be really happy, so we'd wait around for it to get cold or something. Or, I don't know.
How many babies?
There was 2 babies.
Oh, just 2.
There was twins, Alex and James, beautiful babies, and there was a baby wrangler. That's what her job is, and
Okay.
and her name is Tracy, and I worked really closely with her to get these responses out of these kids, and she was amazing. The things that she could do. She taught me. I could be a baby wrangler now, I think. On a movie.
In the movie, there's a scene where you jump a motorized bike into the abyss.
Yeah.
First of all, where did you film that? And second of all, is there a crazy side in you like that? Would you ever do anything like that?
Oh, totally, bro. I
Really?
love it. Yeah.
Right on.
Well, to be honest, here's a funny story. So when I first get to South Africa, they asked me, "Can you motorcycle ride?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." I had ridden a motorcycle once when I was 8, I think, and so I just thought I'd figure it out as I go. I can kind of, I don't know. I thought I was good like that, skateboard and surf. I can ride a motorbike. It's not much, whatever. Anyway, I get there and the guy is my stunt double is the number 1 in South Africa. Motorbike guy, great motorbike guy. I forget his name, unfortunately. Sorry, dude. And the stunt guys were awesome. They were super supportive and whatever. But I just lied to them. I just said, "Yeah, I can ride." And so they're like, "Oh, great. We'll get on the bike and go for a ride." And I was like, "All right." So I was like, "How do you start it?" And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll start." And then I just said, "Is it 1 down, 2 up or something?" And he's like, yeah. So it's 1 down, 2 up. And then I kind of just figured it out on the way. I almost died about 5 times that day. But I learned my lesson. Don't tell people stuff they want to hear. Just be truthful. That was funny. And that's the point of the story. So the first time I had that motorbike scene, they're chasing me off the cliff. And so we have to round a corner. And the directors are sitting the director and producer are sitting right on the corner watching the monitors. And the first take I did, I turn my wheel, it locks up, and I go over the handlebars. I almost break my neck, arm, everything. And I look up, and they're literally 2 meters away from me, and Philip's like, "Gee, that was close. 1 more." And I was looking at Nikki and Ralph, the 2 producers, and their eyes are kind of white as owls, we just almost killed our lead actor, I thought he knew how to motorbike ride. Anyway, I got the hang of it. It was a little motorized scooter fabricated in a thing, so it wasn't too hard.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I want to know what's in the water at Home and Away, because it has produced you and
Sharks.
Chris Hemsworth and
Bull sharks and tiger sharks, and in the winter, great white sharks.
and that's
So
what
don't
trains
swim
you.
in it. Yeah, that's right.
That's how you get your
You run out of the
training
water
on.
and run all the way to Hollywood.
Is there a really awesome casting director there that just?
I mean, there is a really awesome casting director. There's a girl called Poppy at Mulliners. I don't think she works there anymore, but she cast me in Home and Away. Slide, actually, my first TV series in Australia, my first lead role. And from that, she kind of put me in Home and Away. And it's just such a happy set, it's such a fun job. And you get this sense of playfulness and fun, which, you really learn to try and carry out through all your movies. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just noticed, you, Chris Hemsworth, Heath Ledger,
Yeah.
Guy Pearce. It's a pretty good
This is
alumni.
the one that's run for decades or whatever.
I think this has been going for 20 years, 21 years. 20 years, I think, yeah.
So are you
Yeah.
stereotypical Australian and like to surf and?
I mean,
that kind of stuff?
I guess I have to say I am, yeah. A lot of Americans like to surf too.
You're from Melbourne, right?
No, I'm from the
No.
exact opposite of the country.
Oh, okay.
If Melbourne's Florida, I'm from New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you ever in Melbourne at any point?
Yeah, I was. I mean, you might have seen me get a coffee when I was 16 when I went skateboarding with my mum at the park there.
No, like for school or filming or anything.
Oh, I did publicity for Slide in Melbourne.
Okay,
maybe that was
where
it,
that
or-
came up.
Yeah.
Clearly, I didn't do enough research right here.
It's okay. You don't need to. That's what. Just ask the questions. That's cool. Yeah, I'm from a much hotter place, right at the top, the tip of the east coast, called Cairns in far north Queensland. It's kind of like the hub of the Great Barrier Reef. You go there to dive and to see the rainforest.
I thought he said die.
No, it's dive.
Well, you can't die. There's a lot of Europeans that are very scared to go to Australia. And
I'm terrified to some degree.
Oh, you are?
Y'all have like scary spiders and
Yeah.
snakes and.
well, I mean, America's pretty gnarly too.
We have
I
them.
mean,
We have them.
America's.
I hear horror stories about them getting into people's houses in Australia.
Yeah, there's. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yes, there are, but I was lucky that I didn't run into a brown snake or anything like that when I was. Well, actually, I did when I was a kid, but I'm still here.
So, knowing that you've read the book, I have a 13-year-old daughter at home who has read the book and is actually very jealous I'm here to talk to you about the movie. She asked me to ask you,
Yeah.
which you like better, the screenplay for the movie and the movie itself, or did you enjoy the book more?
I enjoyed the book more.
Right on.
Just because the book's so, I mean, for film, there's so many different mediums that you have to fulfill, do so many structural things that, that make a film kind of make sense in a way and also tell the story at the same time. The book is told through Jonas's point of view, and you kind of feel like he's talking to you only when you're reading it,
Okay.
You can't really do that in film. I mean, we tried to with the voiceover, and I think it works to some extent, but Lois's writing at the start of the book kind of feels very comfortable to read, and the words she uses are, joyous and cheerful and excited and happy, and you kind of wonder, this community is a great community, and that's the point. And as we kind of get deeper into the book, we realize that, certain things are strange. Why is, what does it mean to be released? What is that? What does it mean to have a certain time where you talk about your dreams and a certain time when you talk about your feelings? And why do you have to be precise with your language all the time? Why can't you just say, I don't know how I feel? I feel, which I do a lot. I feel syllable. Or, because we can't really, there's so many emotions, with us that we don't know how, we can't put a word to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like her book just,
Really did that.
yeah, really did that. Really is specific on kind of the world.
I actually had one. I've been wondering this. Since in the community everyone has specific jobs,
Yeah.
and they're always based on how they volunteered or anything like that. If you were in the community as you, what job do you think you would have?
The entertainer. I would, what would I do? I'd be the MC at the auditorium, telling little jokes to the people while people come up and get their assignments. I could be the bike tester, where I test out the bikes and take them for journeys across the hills. I don't know, to be honest. I'd be the receiver of memory. It's weird because, there are assignments that you have for life. And so I've always liked acting because with every job, it's very different and very, it's almost like a completely different career you're choosing, because every film set is different, every director is different. Every job is completely, switches each other on the head, if that makes any sense. It doesn't, but whatever. And so the idea of having the same assignment for the rest of your life until you become an elder and then get released is very dark and very sad. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
So
sense.
what would I mean, it's hard because, what would I want to do for the rest of my life? Nothing. I want to keep changing all the time.
So what do you have next?
I don't know. I don't really have anything next. I'm going to go to New York for the premiere and release this movie and then just see what comes up. Just kind of roll with it, jam with it a little bit, as Jeff says. Yeah.
So there's no jobs on the horizon? Nobody's...
I mean, I'm reading some great scripts and there's some really cool stories, coming my way, which is really exciting. So I'm sure there will be something that just grabs me and I have to do. But at the moment, I feel like I've done enough to earn me some time off. I'm so tired. I'm gonna fall asleep in this interview.
That's the way to do it.
No, it's been great. It's been a great couple of years. But
Yeah,
I think
when
I'll
you
just take a
see
couple of months off and then refresh. Because you don't really know how much you love something until you take a bit of time off and then get back into it. So.